welcome back to Sure is Good. And if you're new here, welcome to Sure is Good. Here we make all types of recipes as easy as possible so that you can do it too. So today we're gonna make a vegan chili. So in this chili, it's gonna be really fast, really simple. It's not many ingredients. What we're gonna be using is string beans, black beans, I have sea salt, some cilantro, dill weed, black beans, red beans. This is our chili powder. This is a mixed bag of mushrooms and marinara sauce. There's one more ingredient that I'm gonna be adding, actually two, which are optional. You don't have to use these ingredients. It's just something that I enjoy using in my chili. Nutritional yeast and also an avocado. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is start making the beans, string beans and mushrooms in two different pots. This canned beans, it's better to use fresh beans, but the fresh beans take a really long time, and this is supposed to be a quick recipe, so I'm using the canned beans. Because they cook a lot faster. So let's drain the liquid that's inside of the can. We drain that off completely, and then we're gonna put the beans in fresh water. I'm gonna put the mushrooms and the string beans in a different pot. Normally for this recipe, I would use onions, so it'll be diced onions, because I just really like that flavor of onions in my chili, as well as garlic. But I do not have garlic or onions in this time, so we're just not gonna put that in the recipe. But if you want to dice up some onions and maybe some garlic, I would recommend putting that in your chili. So I'm keeping this fairly small. I'm not making a lot of chili. So I put half a cup of string beans in the water. And the amount of water that I put in is because when you cook mushrooms, they create more water. So more water is going to come out when you're boiling mushrooms. And we're gonna season everything up. Let's open this up, put it in the pot. So the amount of water that I put in the pot is about also half a cup water. The amount of water in the pot is half a cup of water. So I put a full cup of mushrooms. So I put a lid on it, and I put a lid on it, and I turn the heat down to medium. I'm gonna drain the liquid off the beans. I'm only gonna use half a cup. I'm only gonna use half the can of each. I'm only gonna use half a can of red beans and half a can of black beans. So I'm going to be using the entire can of red beans and the entire can of the black beans. Just gonna stir it around, and we're gonna begin seasoning up the mushrooms and the beans. I'm going to put, right now I can turn the mushrooms off because it already created more water. So it's like half of the pot is filled with water now, and I want to season them so they can soak up that seasoning while they're in the water. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the beans, just some salt. We're gonna put these other seasonings when we put the marinara sauce. We're gonna put these other seasonings I'm gonna put these other seasonings in when we put the marinara sauce in. Same goes with the nutritional yeast. Again, it's optional for you. You don't have to if you don't want to. When the beans are done, We're gonna pour off the water both from the beans and the string beans and mushrooms, and I'm gonna combine them into this pot. That's when we're gonna put the marinara sauce in and the rest of our seasonings. So I'll see you in about 15 minutes. Okay, so now we are going to pour off the water, like I said. I left like maybe a quarter of the amount of water that was originally in there. Alright, so now it's time for the seasonings. I want to start with the chili powder. You want to put a full teaspoon of chili powder in the chili. Next is the cilantro. Cilantro, about half of a teaspoon. Salt. You could put half of a teaspoon of salt into the chili. If you want more than that, I would suggest only putting in more after it's done and you taste it, because the marinara sauce has enough salt in it. Dill weed. I like for my chili to have a little bit of a hint of an herbal flavor. I feel like that just makes the chili taste more rich. I'm gonna put a little bit of nutritional yeast. Like I said, you don't have to. I feel like nutritional yeast gives it a little bit of a cheesy flavor. Just a little bit. And now, the marinara sauce. Okay, now that I've just mixed all the ingredients together, I'm gonna let it cook for about 5 minutes, because at this point it's pretty much already done. We're just gonna make it real hot and come back to it and taste it. Okay, the chili's done. See it in the pot. And I'm gonna put it in my bowl. My favorite thing to eat with chili in most of my meals, avocado. I'm only gonna eat half of it with this today and save the other half for another day. Time to dig in. This meal is excellent for the winter time. Tastes great in summertime too, but winter when it's cold, that's when you really want to have this. Thank you so much for being here, watching our videos, and like, comment, subscribe, and share the videos. And we'll see you in the next one.